Have you ever wondered what happens when online fame collides with real-world consequences? Today, we're diving into a story that seems straight out of a movie, a story about a TikTok star whose digital persona shattered against the cold, hard reality of the justice system. This isn't just about a mistake. It's about a moment in a courtroom that left everyone speechless and sent a shockwave across the internet. Imagine this. You're sitting in a packed courtroom. The air is thick with tension. A young woman, someone with millions of followers, a person whose face is seen daily by people across the globe, stands before a judge. But instead of showing remorse or understanding the gravity of her situation, she does something completely unexpected. She laughs. Not a nervous chuckle, but a dismissive, almost arrogant laugh, as if the entire proceeding is just another piece of content for her channel, a joke she's in on that no one else gets. This is the story of how a TikTok star's belief that fame was a get-out-of-jail-free card led to a stunning downfall. Let's rewind and get the full picture. Our story centers on a rising star in the TikTok universe. We'll call her Chloe to respect privacy, but her story is a matter of public record. Chloe had it all. Millions of loyal followers, lucrative brand deals, and a lifestyle that many people only dream of. Her content was a mix of trendy dances, funny skits, and glimpses into her glamorous life. She was the queen of her digital kingdom, where every post was met with a flood of likes and positive comments. In this world, she was invincible. The algorithm was her best friend, and her fans were her unwavering army. But one fateful night, the digital world and the real world collided in the worst way possible. Chloe made a decision that would change her life forever. Following a night out, she got behind the wheel when she shouldn't have. The details are harrowing. She was involved in a serious accident that resulted in significant harm to others. This wasn't a skit. There was no cut or retake. The consequences were real, immediate, and devastating for the victims involved. When news of the incident broke, her fan base was divided. Some rushed to her defense, unable to believe their idol could be responsible for such an act. "She wouldn't do that," they'd comment. "It must be a misunderstanding." Others were horrified, feeling betrayed by the person they looked up to. The internet, the very platform that built her up, became a battleground of opinions. The comment section, once filled with heart emojis, was now a storm of accusations and debates. The legal process began, and Chloe was charged. This is where our story takes its most dramatic turn. The courtroom is a place of solemnity and respect. It's a stage where actions have undeniable consequences, but it seemed Chloe didn't get the memo. When she appeared in court for her hearing, her demeanor was shocking. Witnesses and reporters in the courtroom described her as nonchalant, almost bored. And then came the moment that defined her entire case. As the prosecution detailed the severe injuries of the victims and the reckless nature of her actions, Chloe was seen smirking, rolling her eyes, and then she let out a laugh. The courtroom fell silent. The judge, a veteran of the bench who had seen it all, stopped the proceedings. You could hear a pin drop. He looked at Chloe, not with anger, but with a profound sense of disbelief. He asked her if she found the situation amusing. He reminded her that people's lives had been irrevocably damaged, and her behavior was not only disrespectful to the court, but also to the very people she had harmed. Her laughter wasn't just a sound, it was a symbol of her complete detachment from reality. It was the sound of someone who believed her online status made her untouchable, above the law that applies to everyone else. This moment was the turning point. Any sympathy that might have existed for her, any chance of portraying her actions as a youthful mistake, evaporated in that instant. Her lawyer was visibly frustrated. The prosecution had been handed a gift. Her laughter was more damning than any piece of evidence they could have presented. It showed a lack of remorse, a lack of empathy, and a staggering level of arrogance. It screamed to everyone in the room, "I'm famous. The rules don't apply to me." The judge was not impressed by her follower count. In his sentencing, he made it crystal clear that fame is not a shield. He spoke directly about the danger of living in a curated online world where consequences are often muted or non-existent. He pointed out that in the real world, actions have reactions, and her actions had caused immense suffering. He stated that her behavior in court was an insult to the entire judicial system and demonstrated that she had learned nothing. The sentence was far harsher than what many had expected. The judge cited her blatant lack of remorse, exemplified by her laughter in court, as a key factor in his decision. The gavel came down, and Chloe's world came crashing down with it. The smirking TikTok star was now a convicted individual facing a significant prison sentence. The cameras that once followed her for glamorous content now captured her being led away, her face finally devoid of its earlier arrogance, replaced by a look of pure shock and terror. The reality had finally hit her, but it was far too late. The aftermath was a digital firestorm. The clip of the judge admonishing her went viral, far more than any of her dance videos. The narrative had flipped completely. She was no longer a relatable influencer. She was a cautionary tale. Hashtags calling for justice for the victims trended worldwide. Her sponsors dropped her immediately, issuing statements condemning her behavior. Her management company cut ties. Her TikTok account, once a monument to her success, became a digital graveyard, flooded with comments of outrage and disappointment. This story raises so many important questions about modern fame and the culture of influence. Does gaining millions of followers create a dangerous sense of entitlement? When your entire life is validated by likes and shares, do you lose touch with the tangible consequences of your actions in the real world? Chloe's story seems to suggest that for some, the answer is a resounding yes. She lived in an echo chamber where she was the main character, and everyone else was just a supporting cast member or an anonymous troll. In her mind, a serious criminal charge was just another drama to be spun, another story for her followers. She failed to understand that the legal system doesn't operate on views or engagement metrics. It's a stark reminder that influence comes with immense responsibility. Being an influencer means you are, by definition, influencing people, especially young, impressionable minds. When an influencer shows such a blatant disregard for the law and for the well-being of others, it sends a terrible message. It suggests that fame and popularity can be used to bypass accountability. Thankfully, in this case, the justice system sent a much stronger, clearer message. Nobody is above the law. Let's also take a moment to consider the victims. Their lives were turned upside down by a single, reckless decision. They have to live with the physical and emotional scars of that night, long after the internet has moved on to the next trending topic. Their story is the one that truly matters here, and the justice they received was hard-won. Chloe's laughter in the courtroom wasn't just an insult to the judge, it was a profound insult to their suffering. In the end, this isn't just a story about a TikToker's fall from grace. It's a modern-day fable about hubris, the illusion of digital invincibility, and the non-negotiable reality of consequences. It teaches us that integrity, empathy, and humility are far more valuable than any number of followers. True influence isn't about how many people watch you, but about how you conduct yourself, especially when the cameras are off, or when they are on in a place where your character is truly on trial. The courtroom doesn't care about your follower count, and justice isn't swayed by viral trends. What do you think? Did the influencer get what she deserved, or was the sentence too harsh? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. This is a complex issue, and I'm really interested to hear your perspective on the intersection of social media fame and real-world accountability. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this story compelling and want to see more deep dives into fascinating events, please consider hitting that like button and subscribing to the channel. It really helps us continue to create content like this. Stay safe, stay thoughtful, and we'll see you in the next video.